Hi, Belinda.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming onto the mental health podcast, Mind Over Matter. And I believe it's 6 a.m. in Australia. Wow.
It is. It is. Thank you for having me.
Oh, very welcome. Thank you for joining us. So if you could just tell us about yourself, what you do.
Sure. So I am a mama to two gorgeous children. I have with they're 12 and 10, two girls, and I have in the last 2 years learnt a lot more about me and been able to change the way that I do things as a result of up leveling some emotional intelligence. I'd found that I'd lost fun, and in losing fun in all of the shoulds that are being a parent. I'm not a solo parent. I have a partner in crime, my beautiful husband, um, and by up leveling my emotional intelligence around losing the fun, because there's all of these shoulds, like the must do's and the dinner on the table by 6 and the got to get the kids to here by
Yes.
here and all of the things that we need to do, and got to get which got to get the kids, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. You just I found myself in this pigeonhole, or this hole of unfun land, and I've been able to rediscover the fun and in turn share that with the kids. But not only that, like also being able to conquer confrontations and all matter of wonderful things where I just before would people please and go out of my way to avoid conflict, so that, and as a result burnt out, none fun. Anyway, that's in a
So,
nutshell. So I help others up-level their emotional intelligence, find fun again.
oh, that's really good. That's interesting. So,
Yeah.
I know that being a mother can be an emotional experience. Like it can, it's very difficult, especially if you're a single mother, you're juggling everything. Um,
Mm.
it's a blessing, but it can be difficult as well. Like I'm a single parent as well of two kids, so I can imagine. Yeah, but so how do you how do you sort of build the emotional intelligence with people? Like, what are your ways to do that?
Yeah, so we go on a journey through a closed eyes process, and in doing so, it's only a short space in time where we normally work together for between 3 and 6 weeks, and in that time we 2 hour sessions, and it's completely amazing. It transforms their life, transforms their world, because they're able to change their perceptions, and there's no way that I can know what it is that another woman needs to be able to change what it is that she has learned. So it's a self discovery by me asking questions, because it's a formula that's been specifically formulated for a female brain by a female, and it's as a result of that that we can guarantee long lasting results, which is really cool.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this?
About 2 years now, just under. So it's
Okay,
yeah,
and I
really,
so
really
you've
cool.
seen amazing results as well from people,
Certainly have. Yeah. It's
and
just sorry.
no, no, you carry on.
The it's amazing. Like straight after a session, we're able to go into an imagined event, because our unconscious mind doesn't actually know the difference between an imagined event and reality. It's so we ask a series of questions before a session, and then we ask the exact same questions after a session, and the difference between the two is complete chalk and cheese. It's amazing to see that there's that instant result that is wow. Like, you can go from hating on life and being so frustrated and empowered, so frustrated in the moment, and then after the session to be at peace with it and have a completely different perspective, and then like and the intensity of the emotion and the belief of whatever it is that's holding them back in the first instance can be a 10 out of 10, and it can like completely be dissipated to a 0. So it's like, for it not to be a big deal in the bones, it's amazing.
And do you feel that the natural methods help with coping with depression or anxiety, or do you think
Absolutely.
the pill works more effectively? What's your like? What do you think?
I think it's personal preference, or what. I'm not here to tell you whether to take medication or not. It's that's not my realm. I'm more about just improving. I work on the body, the brain's chemistry, and the way the brain is when I receive it. If it's been that way for at least 6 months, so whether you're on medication or not, I can work with you either way. It's just you can't change the chemistry or the what's going on in the brain within. Yeah, you can't remove the medication or add medication while you're working with me, because it'll change the outcome, and so I can't guarantee an outcome if you change any level of what the medication that you're on. But yeah, open to I can work with either or. It's just we need stable.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I
Yeah,
always thought that the natural methods help. But like you said, it just depends on
yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
you
I'm,
know.
I'm not here to exclude anyone. I
Yeah.
can, yeah, but yeah.
So, so is it just females and mothers you deal with, or is it you work with, or is
Female,
it
yes, I am female only. I can only work with the female brain. So if you've born with a uterus, that's where I'm at, because all of your cells in your body are coded female. So that's the process that I work with has been designed to work with a female coded body. So born with the uterus, whether you've got one or not, as a result of having an operation or whatever, it doesn't matter. You've still your cells don't change, so you've still got. And whether you identify as any other gender, that doesn't matter either. It's whether you're born with a uterus within your body, all of your cells will have female DNA. So, and that's what the process is designed to work with. It's because it's biological fact. There's many different ways that the female and male brains process information, and it's because of that that the normal types of psychology don't work long lasting. They don't give long lasting results for women. So it's a beautiful process. It's been around for about 10 years now, just over 10 years, and no one has returned with the same issues that they initially came with. It's so that's long lasting. That's amazing.
so so obviously it's breathing exercises that you do, you mentioned, I believe, or
No breathing.
what
It's just a
exercises?
closed eye process. So I take them on a journey, and yeah, it's a lot of it's
It's really
completely safe.
interesting.
The biggest, yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I've never heard
It's the only reason why we get them to close their eyes is just so that they can focus, because we take them on a journey and they tell us exactly what it is that they're seeing when I ask certain questions. So it's just yeah, it's a really simple, easy, safe. It doesn't, you don't have to relive any of your rubbish. You don't have to relive any of the hoo-ha that you've experienced in your life. You
yeah,
don't have to, if you're sick of telling your story, this is an amazing method, because you don't have to tell me what it is that you experienced in order to break free of it and move on from it. It's all I need to know is how you feel, not what it was that made you feel
yeah.
that way, and what it is that you believe about yourself while you're feeling that, and that's it. That's all I need to know to be able to
It's
move
very
you on.
straightforward.
Yeah, so
It
simple,
is.
and it's, yeah, it blows my mind. It's amazing.
And
It's incredible.
like with meditating, it's different because you're closing your eyes and you're just not thinking about anything.
Mm.
With meditation, like your mind goes blank. So yeah, but
Which a lot of
it's
women find hard to do because there's so much going on in there. So,
exactly.
um, yeah, I was never a meditator. I would run. Run was my meditation. So, like by pounding the pavement, I would just lose myself in the sound of my feet tapping on the ground as I would run, or focusing on my breath. But I would never like I would bounce from some by the end of a run, like a end of a 5K or whatever. I would find that eventually the thoughts would go and I'd be yay, and then I'd have the feel goods. So I think for the longest time, yeah, I was thinking that it was um like I was able to cope with life because a run would get me by. It would, the endorphins at the end would make me feel amazing, and but I didn't realize how much I was running from my emotions and just like putting it. It was a coping mechanism. It's like a band-aid. Whereas the process that I work with, it completely resolves the issues, and you're able to have uncomfortable conversations, and in turn you're able to be able to show your little people, which was my big thing. I was I avoided confrontation so much. I would have like conversations that I would have with my husband at night, like, when you'd have those after the kids went to bed because they didn't need to see that. But in
Yes.
honesty, I was just, what was I doing? I was setting them up for failure because come like there, when we started having uncomfortable conversations together, when it was just the kids are like, are you guys going to split? And it's like, no, we're just having conversations like normal people should. Like, voices were raised, but they weren't yelling. We were, like, you can't hear me, so I got to talk louder. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, the wonderful things we think. Anyway, but yeah, by not showing them that conversations were uncomfortable because I was hiding it from them because I felt that they didn't need to see that. It was also not showing them that they're okay to have. You're allowed to have a dispute. You're allowed to not agree with someone, and your opinion matters. So by just
Yes.
laying down, or which another thing that I used to do on autopilot, compromise. Compromise to me wasn't a this is me, this is you, and or this is me, this is you, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. Like, it was this is you, this is me, and I'll just come to meet you up there because I don't have an opinion, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it was criticism, another thing that I would never take very well. It was hit to the guts and an ego. All right, I'm not good enough again. Like, just one of those things. All right, I'll do it again. And then you work harder to avoid the getting that sort of feedback. And anyway, yes, I've up leveled,
Yes.
and
So
I earned it now.
you work with emotional intelligence. So
Mhm.
does that help then change and have a positive mindset? Does that sort of
Yeah.
change your mindset as well?
Well, yeah,
Because
it
I know that
removes the.
emotions is a feeling, but your thoughts is different, but your thoughts is connected to your feelings, kind of thing.
They are. Yeah, no,
Yes.
100%. Absolutely. So, because we also work on negative beliefs, it's not just the negative emotions that we work with, it's also the negative beliefs. And when you're believing that I'm not good enough, like
You
vanilla
feel it.
ice cream, you feel it, and all of your thoughts around that are echoing that thought and belief that you're not good enough. And the most amazing thing about our unconscious mind, beautiful thing that it is that it wants to prove you're right. So it's going to bring more of
Yeah.
the thoughts that you're not good enough to your awareness, so that it, oh, look, there's another one, look, there's another
It's
one.
so
So
true.
It is so true. So the more, if you resolve your attachment to not feeling good enough, you're then able to change the way you feel, change the way you think, because your awareness, your unconscious mind is going, oh, but you are good enough, and you're loved, and you're all of these other amazing things. So it's yeah, it doesn't see that I'm not good enough things that it would have flagged for you before. So yeah.
Yeah. And would you say that are you a coach, or like, what's the title that you do? How would you say?
I'm officially a transformologist, because it's the way it's transforming women's lives. It's not a coach. They can go they can go
Yes.
like we get umbrellaed under the coach banner, but I don't give advice. It's more about up leveling whatever it is that you need to up level, and then you can go and see whichever specific coach that you need to, if you need to. Quite often you don't. You can just get on to living life, but coaches are more effective if you've seen a transformologist, because you don't have the negative limiting beliefs. You can just go and do what it is that you need to do, that the coach tells you to do, instead of being all up in your head about whatever it is that they're telling you to do, and it being so hard. You can just action it. So there's
That
no
makes sense.
negative limiting beliefs there to hold you back. Like it's like you've got someone pulling on your jumper going, no, 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 you can't do, no, 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 you can't do that. You can't have success because you need to be a failure, because that's what you believe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah,
So,
life is easier when you've transformed your thinking. Absolutely.
yeah, that's really interesting, actually. I've never met anyone that does what you do, basically. I've met a lot of
Yeah.
coaches and stuff like that, but yeah,
Hmm.
it's different.
Yeah. No, amazing. It's completely amazing. It's changed it's thousands of women around the world now. The method that I use is now in, I think it's 18, might be 19 countries worldwide. So I may not have that number right. It might be more. It was 18 a couple of years ago. It might be like 20. Anyway, but it's not my method. But I'm definitely passionate about it. It's amazing that it can change so much. I've worked with women in America, not America, yeah, America. I've worked with women in Canada, and I've worked with women in Singapore last week, actually.
Oh,
So that was pretty cool.
cool.
Yeah,
And
really
do you
amazing.
travel? So you travel
It's all
to
online on Zoom. The wonders of Zoom. Thank you, COVID.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
As horrible as that is. But yes,
COVID
there
has
was.
some blessings to it in
It
the end.
does. Most definitely. You got to see it, right? You got to see the positives for sure.
Yes. Okay. And do you have like a website where people can access your page and, sign up to?
I am on Facebook, and I have an Insta account, and I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't really
Okay.
have a website. No, I don't have time for that. Just send me a message, a private message, or I can, or email. I can send you all the links. But
Yeah, true. I know
um,
what you mean. Making a
I've got a link
website.
tree which has got all of those sort of things on it. So yeah, and I have a Facebook group, um, Working Mums Up Level. Oh no, Working Mums Get Fun Back by Raising Their EQ. So that's in Facebook.
Okay, so when I upload the video, I can add your handles, your social media handles on
Easy,
there. So
excellent.
yeah, because I know making a website is just time consuming, isn't it?
It is. Who's got time for that? Yeah, no. That's taking time out of amazing women that I can transform lives of. So why would I waste my time doing
Exactly.
that when it's
When you
it's
can,
more fruitful?
yes. And so is there anything else that you want to share?
Mm,
Or I think you've
yes.
covered everything. Okay, yeah.
Can I just share one thing?
Yes.
The change in my children, that the negotiating with not a couple of changes with my kids. So negotiating, I used to find that I would very much negotiate, especially with my second, around things. So I'd tell them to tell them, but I now know that it was more of an ask, to do something. There would be then to go the back chat, or the what about this, or I don't want to do this, or this, or on repeat. And then the frustration with the fact that, oh, I've got to say this 18 times. So that doesn't really happen anymore. Then the kids themselves, I found that my eldest, she got to a point where she was feeling that she was too old to play. And I was totally understanding of it, because I did the same thing when I was a kid. And I was, and I said to her sister, look, I know how she feels, blah, blah, blah. It sucks, but you come to a point where you just don't want to play anymore. And that it happens. And then this is before I worked on my emotional intelligence. Guess what I
Yes.
learned? I learned that life is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to feel light and happy and
Yeah.
things most of the time. We're not supposed to feel like
Even adults like to
frustrated.
have fun. There's no
Exactly.
age limit.
No, there's no
Yeah.
age. So growing up and being mature doesn't mean that you don't get to have fun anymore. So I had to unlearn that stuff, because even though I was telling my eldest during at school, she would go and she would say to no, she would read a book at break time, didn't experience life, didn't hang out with her friends. She would just read a book at lunch times. And I said to her, look, you've truly got to make connections. But this was before I up-leveled my EQ, and I've yeah, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, no, I didn't hear it, didn't take it on board, didn't absorb it, didn't action it, because she's like, yeah. And then it wasn't until I did work on me, knew that having fun at my core was the most important thing in life, because the people that I'm making the most money in this world, they're the ones that are the most passionate, have the fun, and do all the fun, amazing things. So it was because, like, by up-leveling my emotional intelligence, I've been able to get these at my core, know that fun is the key. And I've then shared that with her, and when we were having this conversation in the car this one afternoon, she's just gone, Mum, I truly know you're going to make me cry, because I said to her, like, it's not about it's not about life. Like it's life is about connections. Life is about the community, who you can lean into when things are rough. And you're not going to have those connections if you're hiding in a book. You've got to make the memories with the people that you love. And if those amazing people are the ones that are at school during your school day, and you're hiding in a book, you're not going to make those connections, and you're not going to have the life experiences to lean into and like lean on them when you need to. So it wasn't until like I was living it, I was living proof of being able to do that, that she was then more receptive of it. And as a result of that, she's now finding fun with her sister, and they hang out together all the time. Instead of the bickering that happened most days, it's like once a week now. Like it's completely changed our household, and I'm more calm, and I'm more open to them having a Barney at that time, because it's testing boundaries, and that's completely healthy to do. You're allowed to do that. But I before, it frustrated me and it got up my nose, because I was so, oh, stop fighting, because I was afraid of confrontation. So, so many amazing things come out of, up-leveling your emotional intelligence. Your boundaries change for good and bad, like, for good, in good ways, and also to avoid bad things. Yeah, more amazing things happen. So
That's an amazing thing to share.
yeah,
And I'm
it's really,
sure
really
that people
beautiful.
can relate. And I'm sure
I think,
many mothers, parents, that they can relate as well.
yeah,
And I should start doing that. Yeah. Okay.
why not?
with my
We'll
children,
talk after this.
negotiating and,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Um, and one more thing, do you believe in law of attraction?
Yes, I do.
Or do you think it's just a saying or whatever?
No,
You
100% believe in law
do?
of attraction. Yes, I've brought so much fun into my life. It's not funny. By believing that I am now fun, I've landed a job in corporate team building, running amazing races and minute to win it style events. So like that's something that I've coming out of 15, 16 years in the building industry doing admin, that's certainly something that I would never have even considered. But I've been able to manifest and yeah, put it out to the world that I wanted more fun in my life and I landed this job. So how cool's that?
That is cool. So before you were doing admin and you didn't like it anymore, so you wanted to
Yeah,
do something that you wanted to do. Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah. So 100% believe in the law of attraction, but the law of attraction will bring you whatever it is that you believe. So if you're believing, unfortunately, that you're not good enough, you're not going to get the results. And for the longest time, that was me. I worked in direct sales, and you know, I poured over Rhonda Byrne's book for it was my Bible, and still I got nothing because I had these limiting beliefs that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't able to do all of the uncomfortable things, that I didn't like pressing people's buttons in order to sell things to them. So it was I never did anything in sales. I wasn't any good at sales because of that. So yeah, it wasn't until
Yes.
yeah
You
you
need
get
to
rid of that
believe it
rubbish.
to attract it,
Yeah, and if you
basically.
believe at your core, like
Yeah.
yeah, you're only going to see what it is that you believe in your core. And there's but for
But
know that I think that for every belief that you have, there is another person, if not 100,000 people in this planet, on this planet, that believe the exact opposite. So it is possible. It's all perception.
isn't it easier said than done to just say that you need belief? Because it is easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah, much until you work on it. So it's all about emotional
Can you hear
intelligence.
me? I think we
Yeah.
got cut off. Oh, yeah.
No, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so do you think it's easier said than done?
Without up-leveling your emotional intelligence, absolutely. It's much harder to do without help. It's very clunky, very sure. This is the life hack, like the life hack for women. You want emotional intelligence. You want to up-level your game. You want to have results. Work on your emotional intelligence, and this is the easiest way to do it.
Yes. And of course it takes practice to have belief and you know.
No, not the way I
No?
do it. No, it's a switch
Okay.
on off. It's done. So yeah,
That's great.
it is.
Okay. But thank you very much for participating.
Anastasia, thank you for having me. I'm really
Thank
grateful.
thank you. And I will share this so people can relate and join if they're interested.
Fantastic. That'd be amazing.
Thank you. Let me just stop the recording.